Good afternoon and welcome back to College Football on Tap, brought to you by the On Tap Sportsnet. I'm Chris White, joined alongside with Bruno Oger. What's going on, Brew?
Hey, buddy. How are you? How was your week?
It was a long one, and it's not over yet. I got one more day ahead of me tomorrow. I left work today, and my driver side rear tire had like 13 pounds of pressure in it, so
Oh, that's always fun.
I stumbled home on that going 50 down 57, and then I spent the next half hour in the rain changing my tire in the driveway. So, good start. Good start.
It's always a good time to have to deal with car troubles. I was at the Gerber this morning, so that's why I'm on very, very little sleep. But less than 2 hours, I'm going to power through the day and have a couple of beers, and then go bowling. Maybe I'll have like my Jordan game. The less sleep I get,
your flu game. Yeah, maybe you'll get 300.
Yeah,
a couple of them maybe.
But
can you do that? Can you get multiple 300s?
Yeah, you could do anything you want.
I mean, you guys play several games though.
Yeah, we play 3 games.
And you're a part of all 3.
Yes.
So you could bowl a 900 tonight, possibly.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Let's see what Vegas has a line at. Might throw a couple bucks on it.
Well, considering that I've been bowling since I was 5, and I have still yet to complete a 300, I would not take that line at all.
Okay, if it's like plus 50,000, I mean, I can't really hurt throwing $1 on it.
I've literally been so close my whole entire freaking life. Like, I mean, I've done like 15 straight. I've done 13 straight. It's just been in between games. But I've even taken it all the way into the last frame of the 10th, and it's all been good time. Or no, like the 9th frame I took it into and then struck out the 10th. It was freaking hilarious. But anyway, kind of starting it off today with breaking news. It's college championship week. Let's fucking go.
We made it.
Excited. Yeah, this is great. It's going to be a good weekend, and it's starting off hot tonight. But a little bit of news that came out earlier today is that Florida State quarterback Tate Rodemaker is going to be game time decision. So some reporting that I've been seeing, and ESPN released a little thing about it. So seems like it's pretty serious, and it might get down to a point where they have to go with their 3rd string quarterback then in the conference championship game and their shot at the national championship on the line. And they'll have to go with a true freshman by the name of Brock Glenn. The only stats we have for him are against Northern Alabama, and it was something like 2 for 3 with 23 yards passing and a rushing touchdown. So not bad, but Northern Alabama.
Guys batting 666 on the year. That's all right. 2 for 3. That's kind of funny how we were talking about with Ross when we were going through the bowl game possibilities. And I was like, no, Florida State's going to get through Florida without a problem. It's Louisville that's going to bother them. And then they just keep digging themselves in a deeper hole now. They got to worry about a possible 3rd string going against them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not lucky for Florida State, to say the very least.
It's just really awful timing.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be the worst time of year for an undefeated team. I don't know if this is the first time ever this has happened. Like, I don't remember anything like this, but I also don't remember quarterbacks going down in the ways that they are in terms of college football and the NFL. Like it's getting 10 times worse at this point.
It's that turf, man. Nobody wants to take care of grass, so they just put in this turf and ruins everybody's legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, another way that you kind of ruin the game in sorts just by not taking care of the players first, because I understand that they're, everybody's bigger and stronger and faster than they were 30, 40 years ago as well. But, a lot of non-contact injuries and stuff as well. It's just
quarterbacks aren't smoking cigs on the sideline. And
damn, that would have been cool to see.
I mean, the turf makes sense for Chicago, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, like Northeast, Midwest, but having it all around in college and football, college and NFL, it's just so bad. Just
Yeah, I mean,
be
it's
better at
every single
maintaining
field.
grass. I understand it sucks living where we live, like Northeast, but
Yeah, I mean, it's every single field except for I believe two in the NFL was a stat that I saw. I mean, I have no idea what it'd be in college, but um, yeah, this I mean, I was reading through the article and it didn't even really state what the injury was. I don't recall anything coming out last week, and then it was all of a sudden that like he hasn't been practicing at all. So Louisville right now is coming off of a bad loss last week, and now they're going to get this opportunity at the ACC title game anyway. Maybe they were looking ahead. I mean, they haven't really been the best road team, but though, I mean, they don't look the same as they do at home. So it's gotten a little bit closer. The line only moved up one, I think. FSU -1.5 is what I just last saw. I don't know if that was premature to this Roadmaker news because I didn't see anything about this even at 11:30 when I was still awake. And I mean, I literally took an hour and a 45 minutes news, and I'm like, hey, where the hell did this come from? So this was really like all last second for me, but you know,
right.
I'm not seeing anything in terms of like what the actual injury is. I mean, I I think that it might be a knee. If I'm maybe I did see that. I don't know. I'm a little delirious.
Could have possibly been dreaming. So if they win against Louisville, you want to keep them out, right? You don't want them in the playoff. I
You
mean,
have
there's no way the committee does.
you have no choice but to put them in.
I think if they barely beat Louisville, they keep them out. I think if they win by a couple scores or more, they have to put them in.
No, they're undefeated. You can't keep them out. They're in no matter what if they win.
They will just because the injury. I don't think
You can't
the
take that into
committee.
account. You can't.
I don't know. Hope you're
It's all
wrong.
about what you've done this season, and you go undefeated. You cannot take them out. That would be atrocious. That would be terrible to see.
Did it
You
to
gotta ask,
UCF for 3 straight years.
well, you're gonna have to see Florida State get their ass blown out by Georgia, and you're just gonna have to like it.
That's what everyone is trying to avoid. But
Yeah. Well, maybe Alabama will beat Georgia.
Alabama beats Georgia. Neither of them get in. Texas gets in for the head-to-head win versus Alabama.
Yeah, as long as Texas beats Oklahoma State. You don't know what Texas is going to come out 55-7.
You don't know what Texas is going to come out, but you don't know what Oklahoma State's going to come out either.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually seeing a rumor that Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame might be a possibility if it's not Notre Dame versus LSU in a bowl game. So
how can it not be Notre Dame LSU?
I mean, it's what
they have written a script to a T to match this up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if like, do you think a guy like Audric Estime would play in that game just because it's such a fucking?
I think so. Estime's got heart, man. I think so.
I would hope so. But yeah, that's gonna be we'll continue to run down through it. We got 10 conference championship games, starting off with 2 today, though. Gave you a little bit on that Florida State Louisville game, but the first game on tap. We got New Mexico State versus undefeated Liberty, a team that's right behind Tulane for the non-Power 5 bid, which Tulane has a championship game tomorrow. But coming into this one, you got Liberty as a 10.5-point favorite, and I am just really wanting to find a way to root for New Mexico State because of Coach Jerry Kill.
Kill. Yeah, I would. I do want to see Liberty get in over Tulane for the non-Power 5s, but I also do want to see Jerry Kill get that dub tonight. So I'm kind of at a crossroads here. I'm a little torn.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing against Liberty. I'm just like, I like my boy Jerry Kill, so I'm just kind of there with it.
I don't really give a shit about Liberty or New Mexico State, but I'm a fan of the underdog story, and he's got a good one. So I'm rooting for that.
Yeah, and I did see a little stat as well, and this is one of those games that there are, I think it was six or seven coaches that are either first, I think it's 7, that are first or second year coaches that are in a conference championship game. So you're looking at that with Jerry Kill not being at New Mexico State very long, and then the head coach on Liberty's side, Jamie Caldwell. This is his first season at Liberty, and he's got this team undefeated,
It's
going to
impressive.
a conference championship game. I was kind of looking at, we don't get to watch a lot of New Mexico State and Liberty around here. You got to really go.
Are they the Lobos or is it New Mexico?
I thought New Mexico was the Lobos.
Where did Brian Urlacher go to college?
Maybe it wasn't. Now I'm a little confused.
I'm a little fucked up now.
No, New Mexico State's the Lobos.
So Brian Urlacher went to
That's where. No, they're New Mexico State's the Aggies actually. So New Mexico.
Oh, it's the other Aggies. How did we forget about that?
Oh yeah, we talked about this a while ago. But yeah, I kind of looked at back at
Wait, well, hold on now. You're saying New Mexico State is the Aggies?
Yes.
Okay. New Mexico is the Lobos University. Okay, I got it now. I'm caught back up.
I was looking at the quarterbacks in this game, and Liberty's quarterback Caden Salter. This kid's a stud. I mean, he's got some real talent, and he's only a sophomore, so he might be an interesting person to kind of look at. That might be kind of one of those transfer portal guys, just because he's got 29 touchdown passes. He's only thrown 5 interceptions, thrown for 2,451 yards this year. He's just a very talented individual. His stats are like, you look up his highlight videos and you're like, damn, dude, this is pretty cool. Like he looks like he's a big deal, and that's why Liberty's been undefeated this year. But the other side,
it would absolutely make sense for him to hop in the portal, go somewhere, try and win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you see with a lot of the guys that are jumping in right now. So that's what I'd expect. I also looked in like their the quarterback on the opposing side in that one. I believe it's Daniel Pavia. Don't quote me on that. Diego Pavia. Ugh, that's way off from Daniel. He's been very solid as well, but he does have more of the possibility of turning the ball over. Salter might uses his legs a little bit more, and then we got Pavia, who is more of a pass presence. I mean, he's got 2,700 yards passing, but he's thrown 8 interceptions. So, you have to watch.
Josh Allen on our hands.
Yeah, you got to kind of watch and see with him. Tough game to kind of analyze when you've never watched either team, but knowing that Jerry Kill is the head coach, it's definitely something I would like to see him continue to succeed after all the troubles that he had health-wise for years and everything he did at NIU.
Right. What exactly was he at NIU? Was he their head coach at one point?
Yeah, he was their head coach. So he was the guy who brought in Chandler Harnish and kind of kicked everything off. And
what was his relation to PJ Fleck? Were they in the staff together?
Jerry Kill was the head coach at Minnesota before PJ Fleck.
Okay, and then PJ Fleck was talking shit like the Sean Payton and Nathaniel Hackett thing.
Yeah, he was talking shit about the recruits that were there, saying that like all Jerry Kill's players were super soft.
Right. Okay. I remember now. It's all coming back to me.
Yeah. So
let's go, Jerry Kill. Fuck Liberty.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. I won't be able to watch much of this game because I'll be at the bowling alley, and all I know is that the game
nobody's going to have that on.
Yeah, the game that everybody wants to watch and that everybody should be wanting to watch tonight.
The best game of the weekend, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot will agree with me.
This is my favorite game of the weekend for sure. We got Oregon, we got Washington. Rematch from earlier on in the season, a game that was full of coaching blunders on the Oregon side that cost them the game. And now
future Heisman winner Bo Nix.
Yeah, this is actually, a game that I sat there and thought, like, it's the tune-up of it's the battle of the Heisman. The winner of this game
is probably going to win the Heisman.
Will probably win the Heisman. So, unless this becomes some type of defensive game, which I really highly doubt, and I really hope not, because I just put together one of those ridiculous parlays.
The Pac-12 won't let us down like that. We ain't gonna see no defense tonight.
Yeah, I went a little crazy here. I was like, you know what? Just looking back at their last game and seeing who scored and how many yards people had, I was just like, I'm gonna do something a little silly. So I made like a $20 bet. I believe it has 5 touchdowns in it. So from 5 different people. So yeah, I got a Troy Franklin anytime, Jordan James anytime, Romeo Odunze anytime, Bo Nix anytime, and Dylan Johnson anytime. And then I got Troy Franklin over 100 yards receiving and Rome over 90 yards receiving. So, and that's $20 to win 520. So that's my ridiculous parlay for this game. You're muted.
I think Romo Dunze is probably the best receiver in the NCAA, not counting Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's just cheat code.
Troy Franklin's up there too, man. He's a very talented wide receiver. So
yeah, I mean they have a great core in general. I mean there's a lot of really good talent this year. I mean, but obviously Marvin Harrison's on his own little level up there.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean,
he's a Bolitnikov standoff. It's not standout. It's not even going to be close.
I saw something. I didn't read over it or anything. It was passing through when I was looking at stuff for this today, and it was something along the lines of whoever the freaking guy is that said it was it was Brad Biggs, I believe, and he said if the Bears draft Marvin Harrison Jr., he's just going to take away more receptions from DJ Moore. And I'm just sitting there like, wait, so you don't want this high quality offense that
who wants their own T. Higgins and Jamar Chase or their own AJ Brown and Devontae
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill? Like, come on. This is like, I'm like, yeah, I would like, no offense to Darnell Mooney. I'm like, he's good.
He's a hell of a downfield blocker.
Yeah, like number 3, number 4, maybe wide receiver.
If he's your number 3 receiver, there's a lot of worst case scenarios in that.
Yeah,
I would take him over a guy like I don't know, like Zay Jones.
He's not a great compliment to DJ Moore. I mean, Cole Kmet, our boy. I saw that he only had. He's the only person who's a receiver of any sort that has over 60 balls thrown to him with no drops.
I saw that. I'm not sure if it was this morning or last night. I saw that as well. Or did you put it in the group chat? I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I put it in the group chat.
Okay, that's where I saw it then.
Yeah, so pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, that's like a Larry Fitzgerald stat.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that crazy fucking stat? What Larry Fitz?
Which one?
He's got more tackles in his career than drop passes.
That is wild.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's only on the field playing defense when an interception is thrown, and he literally catches balls for a living. Like, it doesn't seem like, oh, whatever, there's crazy stats out there. Then you really sit there and think about it, like, God damn. Like, he had a really good Carson Wentz. He had an older, pretty good Kurt Warner. Like, he had decent quarterbacks this whole time. They're not throwing a shit ton of interceptions. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah, no, that's a ridiculous stat to even think about. But I mean, I can kind of like remember like some Larry Fitzgerald tackles. I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember made that one. Like it just seems like something that he's done. Like
like his 6'5", like brick built ass just lays down a 5'9" DB who caught a pick off of like a tip ball or something.
Yeah, dude, he was a big man.
Like DK Metcalf running down Buda Baker from like 30 yards out, just chasing him down, tackling him on the 10. Do you remember that? That was pretty wild.
Back on to
Oregon, Washington.
Oregon and Washington, the game that we're so excited to talk about, the best game of the week. I like that bet that I made. Everything that I put in that bet actually happened in the last game, except for the Bo Nix rushing touchdown. But Bo Nix did have a rushing touchdown last week. So that's kind of why I threw it in there. And I just kind of expect him to do something like that to seal his Heisman hopes.
Yeah, he's gonna
He's
stat
gonna
pad a
win the
little bit.
second football game.
Like I don't know the running back's name, but everything like 2-3 yard line, that's all Bo Nix territory. He ain't handing that ball off.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing it all day long. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, like, in terms of what I think is going to happen in this. I think Bo Nix is really going to come into his own here. He's been a forever college quarterback. He's one of those guys that just seems like he's been there for at least 12 years now, just a journeyman in terms of college football. And this is where it all comes together after that loss that they had earlier on in the season. This is going to be that game that you're just like, okay, Oregon is legit. Like all these naysayers that you see right now, like talking about how they've had no real big wins. They haven't beat anyone currently in the top 25. Nobody in the top 25 wants to play this Oregon team right now. They're scared.
No, and let's be honest, the Pac-12 is more competitive than it's been in years. Just their schedule alone, like who they have to play. Utah, USC earlier in the year, obviously. They played Washington. Washington State, Cam Ward was playing great the first half of the year. I mean, it's been a tough conference.
Yeah,
they didn't play like a Big Ten East schedule.
Yeah, no, it was easily.
Big Ten West.
Yeah, that's the one. Don't.
That's the crappy one.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't really sit there and knock Oregon at all for a schedule that they had. I mean, at the time, a lot of these teams were ranked, and then it just ended up being that towards late in the season, some of these teams fell apart and weren't the same teams. But like a team like Arizona came out of nowhere and started beating everyone's ass in. It's just like It's what this conference was this year.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. Is it Oregon State and Cal are the only two remaining teams?
Yeah, they're the Pac-2.
Yeah. So the Pac-2 and the Big 18 and a couple in the ACC, I believe, right?
Yeah, I actually saw a little diagram of it the other day, and I just kind of didn't want to look through it because I'm like, there's way too many teams on this sheet. Like, there's too many teams on all these little conferences.
So we're going to essentially the Power Four now of the conferences.
Yeah,
do you think they give a non-Power 5 or non-Power 4 an additional spot in the 12-team playoff now?
Yeah. Well, no. There's no reason for it. That wouldn't change anything because you're looking at 11 teams getting in that are going to be the top
regardless.
And then because like a team like Tulane might be ranked 22nd in the BCS or whatever. That's why they add them as the 12th team. So you got to be top 11 to get in. And it might be that they like one of those teams good enough, but look at the disrespect that Liberty's had this year, and they're 12-0 and ranked 4th right now. I mean, it doesn't.
I mean, it took till like week 8 or 9 for James Madison to get ranked.
Yeah.
I think Tulane was the only team ranked before them, right?
Yeah, and shout out to James Madison head coach for taking the Indiana job. Just really.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember seeing that earlier. That knocks down my John Gruden theories, but
yeah, that was ridiculous. Anyway, I did see it after we were done talking about it. I saw it like the next day. I was like, I can't believe this is a real thing. But
isn't it kind of crazy? Like maybe I don't consider myself like a very sentimental person, but like I feel like I was a part of this transition with this team. We're 11-1. We're gonna like qualify for bowls and all that shit. Like rightfully qualify next year, and like I'm gonna go 3-9 with Indiana. See ya.
Yeah, well, Indiana.
Obviously, it's stepping stones. He's in a power conference now, but I don't know. It just feels like he just did amazing.
7-5. You could get Indiana 7-5, 8-4, and you're good. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a lot of his guys follow him. But I don't know. It's just a little weird.
I mean, it's just I mean, in a way, it can be like a purgatory. I mean, that's where I feel PJ Fleck is at right now. But they still consider PJ Fleck for other jobs. It's just like he's more in that mid range where it's like, hey, if you don't want to stay at Minnesota, you could come over and coach Arizona. Not you could come over and coach.
Yeah, it's a lateral move,
Yeah,
not necessarily a promotion.
yeah. It's just an opportunity, a lateral move with a team that might be a little bit better at the end of the day. But
And he's in the Big Ten. Like, he would, for a lateral move, you'd have to consider, it would have to be SEC, right? You'd have to consider like Vanderbilt or one of those lower end SEC teams.
Vanderbilt is where coaches go to die.
Well, you understand what I'm saying, though. Like, the only thing, if you're going to take a lateral job, a lateral move in a job, it has to be worth it. And Big Ten's already pretty tippy top. Maybe only the SEC being better opportunity wise.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to go and get an offer to coach LSU, Florida, Bama, Georgia, obviously. Like, that's not going to happen.
No. That'd be a little bit of a big jump. You're not you got to be at where Mike Elko was at Duke.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, you got to be where Mike Elko was at Duke in order to get to a job like that, where he got Duke to a point where people were like, "Damn, this team's pretty damn good." Like
Mike Elko moved up really fast. I feel like it only took him like 6 years to go from like a defensive lineman coach to a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, and that's when you sit there and you turn around programs like Duke, like the way that he did. I mean, Duke's been a team that continuously has won over the last few seasons while he's been the head coach there, and it's always been a competitive team. His team probably would have finished off a lot better if future Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard didn't get hurt.
Yeah, that was a killer.
Yeah, but is what it is. You know, you gotta take what you can. Yeah, sorry, I just was looking at Scotty Scheffler's last shot, taking a putt there, and I'm happy that there's a good golf tournament on. It's good to see it.
What tournament's on?
It's the Hero Championship, so it's like I think there's like 30 or 40 golfers total in it, and Tiger Woods is actually golfing again for the first time in 8 months in this.
I saw somebody on Twitter posted a short clip of Tiger putting.
Yeah, and they got one hold on this. I think it's like called the Monster, where it's like you kind of have to hit it like 300 and something yards to hit it dead center, or you're ended up in like the longest sand in the world or something. I don't know. It's fucking wild.
But all right, tomorrow at 11 a.m. we have 2 games. We'll start off with your boys in the MAC. No Husky appearance, but we get some Blaine Gabbert brother at Toledo.
Yeah, you know, we wish. Brett Gabbert's actually been hurt for a little bit.
Has he really?
Yeah, so he probably will not be playing. I didn't see any confirmation, but it was some sort of leg injury.
So no Huskies and no Blaine Gabbert's brother?
No. With that though,
I guess I'll watch the Big 12 instead.
I still think that this is going to be a very good football game. Normally MACtion is, and when these two teams played each other earlier on in the season, I actually believe that's the game that Brett Gabbert got hurt. And Miami, Ohio is still continuing to win every game since then. Miami, Ohio went 7-1 in a MAC with a loss to Toledo. And Toledo 8-0 went to 11-1. Probably with a win here, Toledo's ranked next week in some form, you would think. But the last game, Toledo was up on Miami, Ohio, 21-0 going into halftime. Miami, Ohio figured something out in that game, and the final score was 21-17. So
I just ran out of time, sort of situation.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it was at. It was just like they took over. They were able to play a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. It was a really good game, and I remember because I ended up betting Miami, Ohio in this game. And yeah, that's literally what I was just gonna say, Quentin. Miami,
Action
Ohio
stays
plus
what?
7.5. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite. Like, I don't really have a lot of favorite bets this weekend. Like, they're all very tough lines. I'm gonna bet my ass off probably just to have fun with it. But I like the Miami, Ohio plus 7.5 in this game. Uh, it's I think that they're going to take them down this time. I know there's a lot of mostly all the analysts and stuff that I've seen have pretty much all been on Toledo with this one, but I think Miami, Ohio has an idea of what they need to do to stop this Toledo team. They figured something out in that game, and they have to have a little bit of momentum coming into this one.
You've been getting killed the last 2 weeks. Yeah, man. The end of the season's so rough the way the lines are, and everybody's obviously tired and hurt from playing all year. It kind of fucks everything up because there's such a small window between like the first couple weeks where you feel like, well, anything could kind of happen, got to let it settle in. And the last couple weeks we're here. So there's that like sweet spot between like week 4 and 8 where you could actually feel confident about your bets. Go bet crazy like me and then lose them all anyways.
That didn't happen this year for me. I ended up getting hotter at the end of this season. Besides last week was pretty bad. I mean, I was 3-5, but it's actually gotten like it took to the deeper part of the season for things to start making sense. Unlike college basketball, that shit's
How are you doing? By the way, you were on a streak last time we talked college basketball.
Yeah, I haven't really had too many straight bets that I've been doing this week. It's been a little bit. It's more into that range now where it's going to be about a month or so until we start getting into those because the conference matchups happen and you kind of know who everyone is a little bit more. Where at the beginning of the year, you have a lot of these good teams. Like I'm looking at like UConn versus Kansas tonight, and I'm like, I can't bet this. Like
I'm not touching that shit. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Like somehow, like Kansas is the favorite, and I'm like, just like I don't know. I mean, UConn's undefeated. I don't know what to do with this. So I've been still pretty good at it though. I mean, I'm going 4-for-5 the other day, 2-for-2 the other day, and I had like a 1-for-3 day in there sometime this week, but not as many bets as I normally would put out. I was looking ahead to tomorrow, maybe some stuff. Notre Dame plays at 11 a.m. on the CW network, so check that out.
Ooh, CW. Yeah, I'll start getting into basketball probably around the first week of the new year when football's kind of over with.
Yeah, I'll be definitely sitting around putting on the football games all day tomorrow, but I might watch Miami, Ohio a little more intently than I do Texas and Oklahoma State, which is the other game that's on at 11 a.m. And
that's a good segue because frankly, I could give it. I really do not like. There's no part of me that's like dying to watch this game.
No, I mean, it's hopefully it ends up being exciting, but Oklahoma State's a weird football team. Texas is
they could pull some weird shit out of their ass, and I mean Texas is, you know, they should be very competitive. When did the CW become a sports network? Don't the Cubs play on the CW, or they used to before Marquee?
They played on WGN.
Tomato potato. I know Clemson had 3 or 4 games on the CW this year, right?
Yeah, no, because the ACC has a contract with them now to play one game, and like that's just like CW is trying to get into sports. They have the Live Golf Tour on there. That's the rights to Live. Yeah, I mean they haven't done a great job with it, but they have basketball. What else do they have? I think they had Chicago Fire games, but the Chicago Fire games is part of WGN.
That was years ago, wasn't it? The Fire games on.
I don't know if it's still on there. I tried to get into MLS soccer, and
I always try and just give it a shot, and I just always fail.
Yeah, you'd be a Fire fan this year. No,
I do want to check out the rugby team playing in their old stadium, though.
I wanted to go last year, but we'll get there eventually.
Of course. I mean, obviously you've been to my new house, and they bring rugby, which I never really cared about until it's like 2 a.m. and I'm drinking and nothing's on TV besides like Aussie rules. So, it's sports. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And they bring a rugby team a mile away from where I used to live. And now I'm all the way. I mean, I'm not far, but like I can't just get drunk and take an $11 Uber home.
That's how everything kind of works out. It's like, you leave, like how I am with NIU. I left NIU and they built a Sonic. I'm like, you sons of bitches. Like, like I was like that really pissed me off. So
Bullshit.
that's literally, I was like, God damn you people.
I'm gonna get my master's, hang out for a couple more years just to get some Sonic.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. Is Quinn Ewers even back yet for this team? Is he fine? Like, I know they
I
won.
believe so.
I know they won big time last week against Texas Tech, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. I kind of disowned the Big 12 because of how impossible it is to bet it. So,
as you should. Big 12 stinks.
Yeah, so Quinn Ewers played last week. Didn't have impressive numbers despite his team putting up 57 points. I guess,
Yeah, he threw 17 for 26, less than 200, touchdown pick, and sacked a couple times.
Yeah, but
he fumbled. They
said that like from everything I read about it, last week was their most complete game of the year. Well, Oklahoma State struggled against a BYU team that's not really that good.
BYU had him in the first half. I was sweating out that
you mentioned it quite a few times on Monday that you like really enjoyed watching that game. So
it was a good one. I was very surprised. I put it on because my kids were actually behaving, and I was like, I'm gonna close my eyes for 10 minutes. And I was like, I kept peeking over, like, yeah, I'm gonna keep watching this. Threw it on the laptop.
I did see the thing about the Oklahoma State fraternity killing a Longhorn. I wasn't gonna really bring that up. Just kind of like, fucking kids are dumb, man. Like, I don't know why you think that's a good fucking idea at all. Like, it's very it's upsetting. Bunch of fucking idiots, honestly. But and on that, I hope
that's got to be a crime, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like you can't hunt them.
Yeah, like that's not something that's okay. Like, but that's what you get with dumb college kids. I mean, I might have been a dumb college kid, but I wasn't that dumb.
Did you watch Blue Mountain State?
Yeah.
When they caught the Badger, like the rival team's mascot, they cut his balls off and ate him.
Oh my God. I was actually going to send I don't know if I actually did because I was right before I was taking my nap, the video of Val Venus getting his pee-pee chopped off, or like the pee-pee chopped off segment on WWF back in the day. And I was just like, oh my God, I remember this because being a little kid, and he was like, I forget his name, Mr. Fuji, I think was his name. He was like, "Hi, choppy or pee-pee," and then the lights went off, and the episode ended, and you were like, that was professional wrestling back in the day. That's
just incredibly racist.
Literally. And I was just like, wow. But it was like, that's how they ended the episode. And then you had to wait a whole fucking week to find out if Val Venus got his penis chopped off. Like,
wrestling was wild. Like, I remember like Braun panties matches just being on regular cable.
Yeah,
and
dude,
I would have to sit with my back against the door so my mom didn't walk in. Like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm watching wrestling.
I fucking had to I had to sit there and go to my buddy's house all the time, and his dad was like a CCD teacher, and
oh God.
And so anytime that I came over for the pay-per-views, it would just be like, oh, it's Tori Wilson versus Stacy Keibler in a bra and panties match, and then I'd have to we'd have to leave the room, and he would just sit there and watch it by himself.
Fucking snake.
Yeah, like, dude, your dad sucks, man.
Man, bringing back some memories. Scott C from Iowa versus the world. Iowa 18, Michigan 17.
I think that's a picture of Ian Happ, so I like you, Scott. But
I'm rooting for you, buddy. But I'm not going to put that on my bet slip. As an Iowa fan, what do you think? What do you think about Brian Ferentz? You happy he stepped down, or? I'm being totally serious. How do they feel? I hate Notre Dame's OC. I want him to do a lot worse and step down.
Yeah. Every single time that you mention him, something pops up on my Twitter like 2 hours later about him. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, you have very much disdain for him. I understand it.
It's no disdain. I don't. Oh, for Parker, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't stand him. Did you see? There's like 5 pass catchers transferring out of Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rico Flores, Holden Stays, Tobias Merriweather, Tyree, and I forget the 5th one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on offense there, but I think when you have a coach who kind of has done what he's done, but not seeing Jordan Faison leave, so that's good. He's been a little tear of late. But
Iowa fans feel about Forenza's, Bears fans feel about Getsy. I understand that.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
I
one.
don't think it's not a mean question. Like, I don't think there's a single person in the world who's a fan of a team who loves every single person on that staff.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure Chiefs fans don't love Nagy being around just from his history. Like, there's no way. Like, he might hold a clipboard, but he ain't calling no plays. Come on, you ain't calling plays over the genius.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe. Well, he did get to before he became the head coach, and then got that taken away from him, and then he still got to become the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Don't ask me how that fucking happens, but here we are.
I don't know why it took me so long, but I just realized like a week or two ago that Mike Kafka finally got an offensive coordinator job.
Yeah.
What was he grew up in Oak, or I don't know where he grew up, but he's from Oak Lawn.
Yeah.
He was quarterbacks coach with the Chiefs or some kind of offensive coach?
He was really close with Mahomes.
Brother Rice guy, I think.
Yeah. Who was the other guy? There was another guy this week who just got a new head coaching job in college football from St. Rita kid. Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis just got a new coaching job this week with damn, I forget who he had. And it's not going to come back to me. Maybe later.
Ryan Ferenza's a great line coach. He sucks at OC. Yes, I'm the same way with Parker. You know, obviously, you don't really know how he does with tight ends because Notre Dame always recruits them at the highest level, so they might all just be great. But in that regard, he has a great track record.
No, there's not a chance that Iowa could get into a college football playoff even with a win. If it was,
what are they, 9-3?
Yeah. No, they're 10-2.
10-2, so they could go 11-2 tomorrow, possibly.
No, they're too far.
Texas would have to blow out Oklahoma State. Bama would have to blow out Georgia. Iowa would have to blow out Michigan. Louisville would have to beat Florida State closely. I wouldn't say it's mathematically impossible.
It's mathematically impossible. Don't even. It's like,
the committee would be like held up in a conference room lobby of like a hotel. Yeah, Michigan, Georgia.
That's a lot. No.
Washington. No, come on. You need Texas. You need Bama to win, and then Texas to win because Texas has a head against the head up against Bama. I don't know. It's not happening. I would love to see that chaos as well, though. I don't know, man.
None of
the biggest obstacle is Iowa itself. If they can hold Michigan to like less than like 12 points,
there's just no way. And Iowa wouldn't jump Ohio State either way either. Because Ohio State has one loss, Michigan has one loss. They're not going to let a 2 jump all those teams. It's literally impossible. If it was next year, yeah, but this is literally impossible. Good try, everybody, but they're also 22.5-point underdogs. They don't know how to score.
So you're saying they could cover.
Good luck with any of your hopes and dreams. I hope that they get past their spread of the first half of half a point.
I'm just worried about their quarterback with how he's not the most mobile, and Michigan's defense is a little aggressive.
He's gonna be like that wide receiver in Not Another Teen Movie.
Remind me, I don't.
He throws the ball to the end zone because to the little like nerdy kid who's like literally like my body shape but way skinnier, and he catches the football and like the team's up like 56-7, and two guys come and they split his torso in half.
That's a little gruesome.
But yeah, I think back on track again. I love doing this, but Texas will blow out Oklahoma State, and if not, it's because Texas gets up big and lets down a little bit. I don't really expect much from Oklahoma State in this game, but I didn't expect much from them all year after they lost to like South Alabama in week 2, 33-7. So
right, we wrote them off very early because they started the ranked, weren't they like 18, 19, somewhere up there?
Yeah, and I think they're 18th coming into this game, so very good job of preseason rankings there for them. Next game up, we have a 2 p.m. start in the Mountain West between Boise State and UNLV. Kind of a normal spot here for Boise State, but what's really interesting about it is this team is going to their conference championship game, and they fired their head coach on November 12th.
Boise State did?
Yeah, they fired their old head coach, Andy Avalos, was fired because, well, Boise State is that non-power 5 that holds themselves to a certain standard because everybody knows who Boise State is. It dates back to like 2007 when they beat Oklahoma in that bowl game. It's been years and years and years. I mean, it might even be longer than 2007 for all I remember. It just seems like that was when they had like Zabansky and all those guys. But
Kellen Moore?
The Moore was a quarterback there too.
Did he come in a little later, like 09 maybe?
I feel like Zabansky was first and then he was after him. Because I think Zabansky was there when Colt Brennan was quarterback at Hawaii, and I was in love with Colt Brennan, and I stayed up late. Well, I was also young, and able to watch 1 in the morning Hawaii football.
Yeah, staying up till 1 a.m. to catch the end of the game,
and then go to sleep and wake up at 11:30 for NFL football games. So yeah.
I miss those days. Just stay up until 2 in the morning, drinking, watching the game, go to sleep until 11:45, roll out of bed, and walk to the couch.
Well, I still sometimes had those, but yeah, Colt Brennan was the man. I remember when he was quarterback at Washington, but I believe that he may have. I think he passed away within the last couple of years. So
Colt Brennan?
Yeah, I believe it. Like was a motorcycle accident or something, but yeah, I was a big fan of his. I was just like, I remember, I think he threw like 50 or 60, maybe even 70 touchdown passes in one season. It was wild. Hawaii just like won every game, and they put up 70 points every week. They were the Rainbow Warriors. They did these chants and stuff. It was crazy. I loved Hawaii. That was the shit.
How fun would it be to go play college football in Hawaii?
Dude, I don't know why everyone doesn't do it.
Like that's my thoughts immediately. Like, all right, I'm not going to any major Power 5. Not going to do anything too crazy. Not going to win anything big, so I might as well enjoy it. You know, if you can't get drafted to Miami, you might as well go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, drafted, accepted.
Yeah.
So I take it you're rooting for Boise State then?
No, I actually I kind of feel like UNLV, like they're a great story here. Because
I fucking love them. I love what they did.
They were the worst team in college football last season. Like, and now this year they're 9-3 and in a conference championship game.
They're 9-3, and their 2 losses, or I'm sorry, 2 of their 3 losses were 1-score games from Fresno State, who had a very solid year, just outside the top 25
Fresno
most of
State
the year.
Boise State as well.
I'm sorry?
Fresno State beat Boise State as well. So
right. And San Jose State, who, whatever, One-score game, high-scoring game, and then they got shit on by Michigan.
Oh.
It's what Michigan does, whatever. But, I mean, they're doing great things over there. 1 year. That's crazy.
Was the final score of that Michigan game 35-3?
7.
Okay. Then I think because there was one where Michigan was losing 3-0 to one of the teams they were facing. And I was like, yeah, they're going to get beat.
They were UNLV was a part of my first 3 covers without Harbaugh.
Yeah.
It was East Carolina, UNLV, and I forget the third one, but
but yeah, like with this game, once again, not 2 teams that we really watch a lot. There's just no TV time for Boise State and UNLV, especially when Boise State's not up to normal Boise State standard. But
their field kind of hurts my eyes too, watching on TV.
It's another team that was taken over by a first-year head coach in Barry Odom. So the first-year head coach is really turning around programs, really implementing their stuff. So I think UNLV here. I mean, it's a 2.5 point spread. Boise State being the favorite, but I want UNLV to get the win. I don't think I'll bet it, but it's just I would think that's a good way to close out the story while Boise State's kind of in this transitional period, despite that being a good story as well, since they fired their head coach and could win a championship. But
yeah, UNLV also probably another really fun place to go play college ball, even though you can't really do anything until you're a junior.
Yeah.
And if you're any good, then you're done playing there.
When you're in college, you don't have any money, man. So
well, now you do. And if there's like Mountain West versions of Pete Carroll out there, I'm sure they had money.
Yeah.
Scouted 2 players from Boise State last year before the draft and watched terrible experience.
I guess the only other one that we had, and I honestly did not look up anything on this game, was Appalachian State and Troy. The only thing that I know is that Appalachian State ended James Madison's undefeated season. So
let's go Troy.
I think I'm going to bet Appalachian State plus 6.5 just on that point. I know Troy was another program that was not good a couple of years ago, and they were real fucking bad. And all of a sudden last year they really turned it up, and now here they are again, 10-2, going to a conference championship game. But Appalachian State, the team that beat Michigan, that no one will ever forget the game. I think that
07, week 0.
Yeah, or no, it was week 1, I believe. But I'll never forget that Michigan team because it had Chad Henne and Mike Hart on it, and what was his name? Braylon Edwards. Yeah. So
remember, did you ever watch the? I'm sure you have. Fuck, now I'm blanking. Paul Crew, Mean Machine, Longest Yard.
Yeah.
The remake with Sandler, obviously.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, it's always like, well, Coach used to always have us play some slack D2 school the first week of the year, like Appalachian State. Let us kick the shit out of them for some fun, get our energy up. And I'm just like, man, what a fucking quiet dig at Michigan right there. Who hates Michigan?
Yeah. Well,
you could have said anybody. Appalachian is a long word. You could have literally said anybody. Like there was
had to be made before that game, right? No,
was it?
I would think so, man. That movie's old, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Fuck me. 2005.
Yeah, so that was when Appalachian State was a joke, bro.
They were still a joke in 07.
Sure.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
But yeah, with that, like we could go kind of skip on over that one for the most part. I'm gonna cheer. Oh no, my mouse died. Gonna cheer for Appalachian State. But probably the second best game tomorrow that we're going to get at 3:00. We got Georgia versus Alabama, the SEC title game. It's always normally a really big game to watch. Always got this Alabama, always got this Georgia team. They're always going head to head for the most part. I don't really see too many other teams in this game, and no different this year. Does Georgia finally lose a football game, though?
I don't know. I really want to say I really want to say that for the first time in my life, by the way, I really want to say I want Bama to win. And I really like Jaden Milroe. We've talked about, like, he's really coming around. He's coming into his own. Defense is obviously there. And I want to watch them play well and beat Georgia, because Georgia's like the new Bama, at least for now. But they just don't look good. Like, Nick Saban sold his soul to the devil. That is the only way that pass gets completed on 4th and goal on the 31 last week.
You're always on. He's sold his soul to the devil stuff.
I ain't lying. I mean, I really do believe there could possibly be a guillotine in the Alabama locker room. Like
Bobby Boucher's mother.
You are the devil.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I honestly,
I really do think that if anyone can do it, it's Saban. It doesn't matter if he brings high schoolers out there. There is something in his twisted mind that we do not have or see that he can do to put together a win like this.
I honestly just don't think it's something that's going to happen. Alabama's struggled a lot against teams that they should probably beat a little bit easier than they have. I mean, granted, like,
they lost to a wishy-washy Texas team who's turned out okay, but I mean, they're the worst good team out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, because the Big 12 is weird. But, I guess they haven't, they've been, they took care of business when they played LSU. They didn't really, I don't know if it wasn't coming prepared for Auburn, but they should have won that Auburn game last week. It shouldn't have happened. They should have lost. They found a way. I mean, credit to them. I still don't believe it was because it was such a crazy finish, but
they're just trying to do anything they can to keep Florida State out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they're in if they win. I'm sorry, but Alabama coming in this game, coming off of the way they played against Auburn, I don't know if they were maybe looking ahead to this Georgia game, knowing that they have to be prepared. This Georgia team hasn't lost in freaking ever.
3 years.
If you continuously say that Nick Saban has made a deal with the devil, what has Kirby done?
He what? What has Kirby Smart done? He fucking sat underneath him for a few years and learned his tricks. He studied his book.
Oh man, so I don't really know too much about the Bible and how that all
You clearly
works.
Don't know shit about Satanism, do you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
Can we get someone in the comments explaining Satanism to Bruno here?
All right, we're taking a really dark turn here. You need to calm down.
Well, you know what? Maybe the NCAA. Fuck was that?
I don't know. It's Clark.
I'm texting. Leave me alone. I don't care. I don't care who wins. I want to watch a good game.
Yeah.
I don't want Georgia to win a game again for the simple fact that I want to see somebody else do it.
Yeah,
Kirby Smart's great. That whole team is great. What's his name? Beck or some shit. Bowers. Their defense is unreal. I mean, they have a great squad. I just want to see somebody else get in there and win it. But, Oregon would be awesome. When's the last time the Pac-12 won? I think Chip Kelly took them to the playoff like 3 or 4 years in a row, right? Like 10, 11, 12, and 13, or the BCS championship.
It's been a long time since Oregon's been,
but
because they always tend to lose one of those weird games.
yeah,
Or
but
two.
yeah, I mean, there's no malice against Kirby Smart. I just, fresh blood, fresh goat's blood for Saban.
The only reason why I would cheer for Alabama in this game is just because I want to see chaos. Bring on some chaos, change things up. Like,
That's all we've talked about all year, changing it up. We're watching reality TV.
yeah, so I just for the sake of chaos, I mean, it's the same reason why I'll cheer for Louisville in the night game, but also
Who are
because
probably going to win.
I'd like better games for the semifinal, even though I'll have to be working that day. I'm waiting for my boss to approve my PTO for the 8th for the national title game, but if he doesn't, I am going to scream and yell. But
what day is the national title game? It's the first Monday of the year, right?
it's January 8th. So January 1st.
Second Monday of the year.
Yeah, so because January 1st is a Monday, but so like I'll be able to watch the first college football champion playoff game for the most part, but I won't be able to watch the second. So I'll have to listen to it on the radio, which really is disappointing for me. Maybe I'll have to record it, and who knows?
I don't really want to burn a vacation day on the 9th because, obviously I wake up at stupid hours of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a late start too, isn't it? Like 8 p.m.
Normally, yeah. I'm not sure if it is.
Like I'm usually asleep by like 8:14.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch half the first drive.
yeah.
But I can't justify burning a vacation day for a game that like I'm not even going to go to a bar and watch. I'm just going to sit in my house and watch it.
I'll have Jex come hang out with me at the bar.
That's a far drive. I don't know.
Me and Jackson.
We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm pretty burnt out, so I'm pretty excited to get my vacation and sick days back. So
yeah,
we'll see how I'm feeling come the new year.
I haven't used any PTO or anything at this job yet, so I'm just hoping that they approve the 2 days that I put in for January because I know.
I thought you took off your birthday week.
Yeah, but it wasn't PTO.
Oh, you just said "fuck you." I'm not going.
Yeah, I took off 2 days for my birthday. We're not talking about it.
Yeah, whatever. SMU at Tulane, American Athletic Conference. That's what AAC stands for, right?
Yeah. So I believe in this game, I believe this is another one where SMU has been playing for quite a few weeks without their star quarterback. And yeah, because they lost Preston Stone to Navy a couple of weeks back. And still, with that, SMU is one of the most stout defenses in the league. And I think that's going to be a difference maker here because Tulane just hasn't been impressing me at all. Like, I've been putting them on here and there to watch the ending of their games because they've been in a lot of close contests. And this SMU squad, they've been a very good football team throughout the whole season. The defense is very, very good. The offense is freaking stellar. Even without Preston Stone, they still can put up some points. I mean, if they had him, they might be in a lot better place than they even are right now. But this SMU team is going to be very tough to beat. This is going to be an interesting game to see if Tulane can beat them.
Tulane is still they're still 11-1, right?
Yeah, so Tulane
they lost and then won 11
game.
straight or lost the second game or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. I remember watching that when I was still all gung-ho about, I'll watch any game on at any time, and because it's so fresh still. So I was like, yeah, non-power 5 over here. I had my laptop, Bailey's laptop, 2 TVs going, checking my phone for box scores, like really into it still. But
yeah,
I have not watched much of them since they broke my heart.
Yeah,
AKA my wallet.
I don't have any feelings in terms of having any bets on them, so I'm sorry.
I don't remember asking.
I'm sorry.
Whatever. I didn't ask for it.
All right. But yeah, this game's going to be a close one. It could be one of the more exciting games in terms of that time frame tomorrow, because that's starting at the same exact time as the Georgia Alabama game. But both these teams 8-0 in conference, so they didn't play each other at all earlier in the season. I honestly think it's going to be something that you're going to flip to it. I know I'll have two TVs going in some form, so if one doesn't have a Christmas movie on or something, maybe I'll have that one, or I'll be using my phone.
Usually 7:00, Bailey's like, all right, that's enough football for today. And I throw one game on my laptop and we have a Christmas movie on the TV.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's going to be tough to do tomorrow night with the two riveting games tomorrow night.
Well,
one game,
five riveting quarters.
yeah,
Sorry, Scott C from Iowa.
Yeah, you got Michigan and Iowa, and go into it as much as you want, but we know that Iowa's offense is super inept. The over-under in this game is 34.5. Iowa's first half over-under is half a point, not even a full point, half a point. Like, it doesn't even matter, because the most they could be is like they either score 2, 3, 6, 7. You can't even, like, they might as well make the line 1.5 just to not embarrass someone a little bit more, just to make that safety possible. But the only way
Iowa State grad made that line.
Yeah, like, if the only way I see Iowa scoring in this game early, at least, is if their defense does something to get them there. Michigan's going to have to make mistakes. Iowa's going to have to play perfect on defense. Iowa's a good defense. Like,
we haven't seen a true JJ McCarthy in a while. Even against Ohio State, he didn't throw the ball all that much. I mean,
no.
What do you have? 12 and 13 attempts the 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very much like using the run game. They're not letting him use his arm at all.
The defense might come out there with, a little fire under their ass and, maybe pressure them, maybe force them to throw the ball a little bit, maybe make some mistakes. I think they can scrounge up, 3 or 4 field goals, get a couple decent drives that just get shut down in the red zone.
And that's what it's going to take for them, honestly, to even stay competitive in this game in any sort. I mean, that's the tough thing, though, is Michigan's offense, like, they do find ways to score because they can run the ball. And, I mean, they were able to find ways to score last week against Ohio State. And, I mean, obviously, they haven't lost a football game yet this year. But Iowa's going to have to come out and play a perfect football game in order to stay in it. And that's as much as you can say about it. They don't have the offense. They're not going to throw the ball downfield. They're not going to get chunk plays. They're going to have to find a way to get first downs on 3 plays, because that's what it's going to be, is like, you got to run the ball, hope you get 3-4 yards. Run the ball and hope you get 3-4 yards. Maybe do a pass, get 3-4 yards. Like, that's the type of football that Iowa's going to have to play.
Yeah, your backs are going to have to average what'll equivalent to a first down for every 3 attempts. Your screen passes are going to have to go for, 6, 7, 8 yards. Your checkdowns have to be at least 10 yards. I mean, they could play small ball and they could stay in it for a while. I don't think it'll ever be enough, though. But, I mean, that's not even Iowa. I mean, I don't think a lot of teams could compete with Michigan.
Yeah.
They're playing on an unreal level.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best team in the Big Ten. They proved it last week by being Ohio State. That's why they're in this game. And I mean, the Big Ten West is the Big Ten West. I still wish it was Northwestern and Northwestern going to get blown out in this game, just because, hell yeah.
Almost.
Here for. I mean, they almost had Iowa at Wrigley, but every team's almost had Iowa over the last couple of weeks, because Iowa wins every game by 3 points, 13-10.
Except for the one game, they won like 41-0, and Brian Ferenc told us to crawl out of his ass. Don't think I forgot about that one.
Yeah, things got personal. But
still waiting for you to come on the show, Brian. Reach out to us. Yeah, no, I mean, the night slate obviously is great. The afternoon's broken up pretty well. I don't know if we said the times at all. MAC and Big 12 play at 11. Boise State, UNLV play at 2. App State, Georgia. And SMU Tulane. They all play at 3 o'clock. I think we said right.
Oof.
And then Louisville, FSU, Michigan, Iowa play the night slate, and obviously New Mexico State, Liberty, Oregon, Washington tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very upset that I'm going to have to sleep through some of that Oregon Washington game. If I didn't have kids, I would just go to sleep now and stay awake for it and then sleep a few more hours before work, but that's not possible with my schedule.
I'm not sure what lane I'm on tonight, but I'm glad there's no Bulls and no Blackhawks because there should be no fucking argument in terms of what's on the TV at the bowling alley.
I was going to ask you, I haven't really checked out Bleacher Report today. I was pretty busy at work. Did anybody else have big games tonight? But no Bulls, no Hawks, obviously no pro football, so should be in the clear.
That'd be like the one thing that would like tick me off about my old bowling league would be like we'd start the year off and there'd be people who would legit put on like the White Sox game, and the White Sox are like 40 games below 500, and it's just like, dude, like there's 7 other things on that we could be watching, like, and we don't need to watch this just because they're the Chicago team. Like, let's put on something. Sorry, we can't change the channel. Someone wanted to watch the White Sox game. Like, what idiot here wants to watch Michael Kopech give up fucking 4 runs in the first? Who wants to do that?
Well, it's like fucking Lucky's. I used to live there, and they were an official Blackhawks bar.
So when
every TV, the audio, everything had to be Blackhawks, and I'm just sitting there like trying to, watch any. I have no malice against the Hawks. I love watching the Hawks, but like it's a sports bar with at least 25 TVs in there. You could give me one of them little 26-inch screens. I don't care how big it is. I don't need the audio. I'll figure out what they're doing.
Just
change the damn channel.
A very popular thing though. Like the Blackhawks bars, I remember like when the Tilted Kilt was up in Okolon, like that was a Blackhawks bar.
By the mall.
Yeah, and they did like me and Doro used to go every single Wednesday because the Hawks played every single Wednesday, and they did like 35-cent wings and that TK signature sauce, and then $3 Long Islands. So we'd literally
love Long Islands.
So we'd sit there and we'd have like 3 or 4 Long Islands, and watch the whole Hawks game and have like 50 wings ordered, and we'd walk out of there with like a $22 tab. And then we would we'd go to St. James. And like it was just like, same thing.
I remember Lucky's had a goal horn or a goal light given to him by whoever works for like the Blackhawks PR team. And the fucking light would always go off and you'd hear like 3 seconds before they scored a goal. So it just ruins everything.
Oh God, that annoyed the shit out of me.
It was all they unplugged it after like the first week, but
yeah, I think I kind of remember that. I know TC's had one that would like they would blow the horn and I'd just be like, oh my God, like if it was like an empty building, like if there was a lot of people in there, it wasn't that bad. But if it was an empty building, it would just
you and 3 other people just sitting at the bar, nobody's at the like just the light is plenty, okay?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we kind of went into Louisville, Florida State already as well, and that's the only game that was left there. And it's gonna depend now. I mean, it's gonna be a close game, I think, either way. But if Roadmaker doesn't play, like it does take another element into it. You got a true freshman coming out there, and we'll have to see what his capabilities are. But Louisville didn't look good last week. I don't know how they play in terms of a neutral field compared to how they play on the road in general. They lost pretty badly to Pitt earlier in the year. I guarantee you if they played Notre Dame at Notre Dame Stadium, it would have been a different football game. They just have a really hot crowd that really helps them, and it hypes them up because they do care, and hopefully their crowd travels.
Duke also beat the shit out of Notre Dame the week prior.
Yeah. Well,
like
they had a couple of weeks of hard football games. Ohio State, then Duke,
Yeah, I mean, FSU's coming off not the toughest opponent, but I mean, they played a pretty tough game against Florida, so I don't know. Anything could happen except for the Iowa game. Nothing can happen in that one. Michigan's going to win.
Dude, I hope that on Monday we're eating that. We're eating our words.
Oh, I would be the happiest person in the room.
Iowa beats Michigan.
It's like 8 crazy nights when he beats a guy in basketball and he has to eat his own jockstrap.
Sorry, Nick Nat, if you're watching, man, but just something that would be pretty fun. Like for people who talk college football randomly and throw little random bits of pop culture into all of our college football games that we talk. We're very we want something fun to talk about, and that would just be the most fun thing in the world to talk about is how did Iowa pull off the win?
I got nothing but time on Monday. We could sit on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, seriously.
But,
well, I can't.
Maize is a stupid color. There, apart from the game slate, I just kind of realized something really quick.
What's that?
This might be a really stupid question. I've just never noticed it before.
Dogs do not lay eggs, man.
You sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
When does the Ivy League end? Do they not even play a conference championship game?
I know nothing about Ivy League football except that Yale and Harvard don't like each other.
I was just kind of looking through Bleacher Report, and they didn't play.
Brought up on this show.
They didn't play a game last week. Fitzmagic is not happy. Oh, I just got the update about the Longhorn. Son of a bitch. They did not play a game last week. They do not have one tomorrow. Imagine going to Harvard and you're top of your class. You're gonna be a lawyer, and you're just kicking the shit like a 300-pound lineman in the midst of all of it. There is some fun-ish news.
What's that?
Reggie Bush is finally being accepted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. You had a little post about that. Yeah, it is. It's definitely something good to see. I mean,
I'm over the Bush push. It's been long enough, almost 20 years now.
Yeah, fuck that.
And
God, I hate that game.
Another cool thing I saw earlier, Utah State quarterback Levi Williams, he's opting out of his senior season to become a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, pretty badass thing to do.
That's fucking awesome.
Kudos to him. He had something that he really wanted to do, and instead of playing more college football, he decided to forgo his senior year. But watch that name, because I could see when he's done with his Navy time, he comes back, he's 27 years old, and then he's the quarterback of
got a year of eligibility left.
Yeah, he's the quarterback of Rutgers or something. Something cool like that could happen.
It's like J.R. Smith retiring from the NBA, and he went back to, was it Coastal Carolina, or I don't know where he went to college. And he used his final year of eligibility playing college golf.
Yeah. It's a perfect thing.
But yeah, Levi Williams, great move. Very very inspirational, awesome thing to do. We haven't had any inspirational news like that since week 2.
So I was looking through a little list here because there's a lot of quarterbacks that have entered the transfer portal, and obviously we're kind of hyped up about Riley Leonard. And I mean, even in this article that I was reading, it says Riley Leonard is favorited to go to Notre Dame. Obviously that's someone that you brought up a lot on this show throughout the whole entire year and throughout this whole entire season. And we were both big fans of what he was capable of doing, what he did do on the field, and the way that he looked prior to the injury. But another guy that they list is probably going to the transfer port or in the transfer portal already is DJ Uiagalelei.
What?
Uiagalelei.
The DJ, you could play the ukulele.
Yeah,
Is he really? I
yeah,
wonder if that has something to do with what's his name, the coach leaving for Michigan State.
yeah. So interesting. That'll be someone to really watch to see where he ends up going. I know that Trevor Van Dyke, I believe is his name, the Miami quarterback. He's an interesting prospect. He opted to transfer already. And we're starting to see players all over transfer. I mean, all these
Drew
players that
Pine,
go, yeah, Drew Pine, whatever. Um,
Phil Yurkovich.
there's a lot of players that are in that are already declaring and whatnot because they're not in the college football playoff or they don't have a conference championship game. So a lot of these players leave early for a bowl game. Like that's kind of one of those things where it's like, we talk about Notre Dame playing LSU and it's like, well, Notre Dame already lost 5 players that they would have in terms of the people that are going to catch footballs and whatnot for them. So who the fuck else is going to play in this game? And
Right.
it's kind of one thing that's kind of hurt the bowl season in general is a lot of players opting not to play. And now that we have the transfer portal, there's even more players not playing for teams. Unless you're in the college football playoff, it's kind of like they won't start doing it. Like
Right.
a
I
lot of
can't
these,
remember. Did like Foskey and Mayer, did they play last year? Because I remember they gave their declarations for the draft pre-bowl.
they did not play in the bowl games.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing that like I hope doesn't happen with Audric Estime. I'd like to see him play for Notre Dame one more time, especially if it's against LSU.
Especially since the game last week was on goddamn Fubo and I had to watch it on my phone on YouTube.
I didn't even bother. I was so ticked off about trying to find a way
It's
to
like,
freaking watch it. I just was
what
like,
bullshit? How do you end a season, a game that we watch like every year, every other year?
yeah, and it's on the Pac-12 network that's only on the West Coast. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah, I didn't even bother. I think that like I put on another game, but I was half asleep during it anyway. I was super tired.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same time slot as Florida State, Florida. It was starting during the end of Washington State, so there was good football on.
Yeah, I didn't put on
But
Notre Dame at all. I just kept looking at my phone. I was like, oh, Notre Dame's losing.
yeah,
Why
I
would they?
watched like maybe 4 or 5 drives on my phone and just said fuck this because I was over at Bailey's parents' house.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see like who keeps on coming into his transfer portal after these teams that are done playing these conference championships that are looking to get in the college football playoff. Like there will be some bigger names that also come on out, and then a lot more declarations of the draft will start coming up, and then a lot of things kind of start breaking down coming into more of this week. Like obviously we're seeing the coaching carousel go around. You got the transfer portal going around. Like it's
We're gonna get the Estime and the Joe Alt love the letters.
yeah. I mean, and that's the same thing. Like we're seeing, like I mean, we even lost Notre Dame lost Zeke Carroll this week, and he wrote that in his thing like he's gonna go play somewhere else, which is just I think it has a lot to do with the offensive coordinator there, and that's what you kind of
Gerard. I'm pretty sure his name is Jared, but the way he spells it, I cannot help but
Gerard.
pronouncing it Gerard. Gerard Parker.
He spells it the same way as Gerard Butler. So
It's Gerard, but there's no R. Gerard.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I thought it was a typo at first, and then I was Googling him one day because I don't know, maybe I wanted to leave like nasty comments or something. And
Yeah.
I found out that was his name, and I was like, oh, what a stupid name for a stupid man. Joe Alt rules. Fuck yeah, he does. Love Joe Alt.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, Joe Alt, he will be up for the what is it? Is that the Ben Nark Award?
Um,
I think that's the offensive lineman award. We'll get into that later.
Outland.
Okay.
Okay, it's the award is technically for interior lineman,
Oh,
and he's a tackle, but
well,
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how that kind of plays out. And yeah, I do agree, Quentin. Like I've sat there and have thought about all the scenarios where the Bears don't win football games so that they could get Joe Alt and get Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be my two picks for the Bears next year. As I would like
Everybody keeps looking at me crazy when I say that. Like, give Fields one more year, draft
I want to
Harrison.
see Fields get one more year as well.
Draft Harrison, move your other pick down a couple spots if possible. Take either Joe Alt or the dude from Penn State. I can never remember or pronounce his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then give Fields one more chance. He'll probably suck. Who cares? And then you'll get the next wave of good quarterbacks coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Fields with an offensive coordinator that's actually worth a damn and not
and a huge piece of their offensive line.
I was listening to one of the local radio hosts the other day, Gabe Ramirez, and like he made like the cha-cha slide to Justin Fields and Luke Gutsy's play calling, and it was like slide to the or screen to the left, screen. To the left. Oh, RPO.
Did you see fucking what was it? Q101, Brian, Alley, and Justin or whatever, or just Brian, I guess. I don't know. I don't listen to it. They did a song. I think it was Stacy's mom, but it was Connor Bedard's mom. Connor's mom.
I don't want to talk about that. I mean, I kind of like after seeing Blackhawks general manager react to it, like and how much he was upset by it. I kind of just was like, this isn't fun to joke about. It really hurt people. So I was kind of like. Ugh.
You know, Bedard is going to be getting chirped well into his 40s about Corey Perry banging his mom.
But it never happened.
So they're still going to do it. It's hockey, man. There's no rules on the ice except for the rules.
Oh, fuck you.
A tackle can be an interior lineman depending on if you consider a tight end to be a lineman. That's fair.
I get all my chirping from Shorzy. But yeah.
I don't watch that show. Maybe I should.
It's hilarious. And it's
well, no, I'm not going
episodes. Ross, good to see you, buddy.
I didn't even see you there, Ross. What's going on, buddy? How was work today?
And David, a tackle can be an interior lineman depending on if you consider a tight end to be a lineman. Typical Kriska. So
he ain't wrong.
All right, yeah, and honestly, like with that, I mean, that's all we have to really talk about this week in terms of going into the college football playoff. I don't have bets that I'm going to throw out there for people. Like I have my own thing that I'll do on the side, but seeing all these conference championship games, like it's hard to sit there and put a lot of faith into anything. Like I'll tell you, like I'm going to bet UNLV plus 2.5. I'm going to take Miami, Ohio plus 7.5. I'm probably going to end up betting the Oregon spread tonight just because I want to see Bo Nix dominate them. I'm probably going to bet that Iowa over half just because I want to see it happen so bad. And it's just going to be fun to watch a half of football cheering for a team to score 3 points. Like
watch them get burned on like a fucking safety or something.
Yeah, I just want to see it happen. No, I'm betting the over. I'm not betting the under. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, the safety still gets the over. It's just that would be the funniest possible way to get it.
That's exactly what I want to happen. But yeah, so we'll see what we do for bowl season. But with that, we'll be back next week and we'll do a recap of the chaos this week. Check us out in our Twitter accounts, as you can see scrolling across the bottom there, and our little titles here at Bruno Oger, at the Gerbs, and at college football _ on tap. That's where you can follow us if you don't already follow us on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays. But we'll be back next week with the reaction to this, and we'll be live on it all weekend as well.
All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Continue going in the comments. It's been a lot of fun talking back and forth with you guys. I know.
Yeah, a lot of you guys today. That was fun.
David, Ross, you guys hopped in at the end. Scott C from Iowa, respect you, buddy. Brian Ferenz. Yeah. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe. This has been College Football on Tap, brought to you by On Tap Sports. Have a good one.
Oh no, the mouse died again. Oh, we're
Use a
back.
goddamn touchpad.